Located in the Paraná River between the states of Paraná and Mato Grosso do Sul in Brazil, Ilha Grande Parque Nacional, or Big Island National Park, is almost 79,000 hectares. It is now a national park which is praised for its natural beauty and diversity. The park is part of a larger complex ecosystem called the Paraná River Biodiversity Corridor. It's home to many unique habitats provided by the floodplains of the Rio Paraná. There are 8 counties that comprise the island. The park and the region surrounding it were once home to many indigenous people, and it has a long history of use. Until the mid-1990s, most of the island was in use for agriculture, such as crops and beef cattle.
Here, the conservation and the problems begin in 1994. Okay, so all the islands in Paraná River, the people use for pecuária
to raise
beef cattle.
Right.
Yes. Em agricultura, mineração. Stretch the soil.
Mineral extractivism, I don't know how can you say.
Argila, lama.
Sand from the river,
Sand,
right?
yeah,
Yes.
sandy, right.
Pecuária, né, e agricultura. Begin in south of the archipelago, in Big Island, né, Ilha Grande. Essas são as imagens, né, da época do território das ilhas, de 1994. You are here. You know, do Parque Estadual das Vargens de Viema. Foi lá, né?
Yeah, we went there
Okay.
yesterday.
But begin here, in Autônia, a cidade, the city, Autônia. Here, first área de proteção ambiental.
First protection area in the
Municipal Protection Area. Criado para tornar possível retirar o gado das ilhas e interromper a agricultura, porque eram áreas da União. As pessoas elas invadiram aquele espaço.
Yes, this area was created for take the gado cattle from the island, because here in Brazil the law say that all the ocean area and the river area, it's a federal area, don't have owners in this area. So all these islands in the Paraná River are the union, you say, okay? It's not anybody, but people use this area, put cattle there to feed the cattle, to raise the cattle, right? And this was the first protection area created to take this cattle from the islands.
E a criação dessa primeira APA, ela começou com um processo de parceria, que isso é importante a parceria destacar, porque depois ela não é só a criação do espaço, as parcerias elas viraram depois a regra, que é o que? As parcerias de município, o órgão estadual de meio ambiente e Ministério Público Estadual.
Yes, it was very important this point. This area was created with partners, right? The municipality with the state people and
Ministério Público Estadual.
Law.
Promotor de justiça.
I don't know how to translate it, but it's people from public minister, the guys that take care of the laws, kind of lawyers, but lawyers, but they are public servers that work looking for problems with people that have problems with environmental laws, right? Did you understand? More or less. Yeah. So the municipality with the state and with the people that take care of the environmental laws.
Então, só destacando que a parceria, né, partnership,
Yes.
é very important in conservation the Paraná River. It begin here. Depois, São Jorge do Patrocínio, outra APA municipal protected area.
So they start creating municipality protection areas, and they become each time more and more and bigger, right?
Caraíma, Terra Roxa e Guaíra. Como que é mosaico em inglês?
Mosaic,
Yeah.
yes.
First mosaic, conservation mosaic. Outra semente também.
Seed for.
Então, mosaic and partnership. Deixa eu ver aqui. 1994. For management for this area, need to create a pioneer entidade.
Entity, yes.
Entity, yes. Pioneer entity in Brazil, exclusive for conservation, que são o consórcio. Many municipalities juntos, together for conservation. Create uma entidade para fazer a gestão, ao invés de cada uma cuidar da sua.
They create one entity to take care of all the area. So they call it Consórcio Coripa. Consórcio River Paraná, like something like that.
Ilha Grande became a national park officially on September 30th, 1997. This was a team effort between the Environmental Institute of Paraná, developed by IBAMA, and Coripa.
It was created in 1998. So they think about, now you have unit conservation, and you need to think what you have the difference from Paraná and Ilha. So I think it's better now. It's better, the conservation, and I think the institute that working there to conserve the public institution are doing a good job, and to restart the unity, the river, and what about what happened with the river, and not only for aquatic fauna, but only terrestrial plants and so on.
On their website, you can find some of the specific objectives of the Ilha Grande unit of conservation. It specifically mentions that preserving the natural ecosystems are of great ecological importance, and that this area has the specific objective of preserving, conserving, and improving the ecological conditions of the park area and the well-being of the populations covered, as well as preserving the last segment of the Rio Paraná and associated ecosystems, contributing to the maintenance of biological diversity, especially endemic and endangered species of fauna and flora and their habitats and archaeological sites. In addition to contributing to the society, they want to add discussion and make known the processes of management and protection of natural resources, among them the rational use of soil and methods of environmental zoning. The park is currently in a transition between the Cerrado, which is a sort of tropical savanna, and a seasonal forest. The island is home to many endemic species and endangered species, including terrestrial species such as the swamp deer, the alligator of crop yellow, or a type of caiman, the jaguar, a tapir, and Anteaters. There is also aquatic animal species such as painted fish, jow, pacu, bird species such as the jabiru, jow, cracks, American spoonbill, and the jacana. It is important to protect these species and their habitats because many of them are not found elsewhere.
To maintain the biodiversity at the flood plain, to maintain the ecosystem and the function of the ecosystem, to preserve and conservation.
What is the importance of biodiversity?
What is important in biodiversity?
Right. Why do we want to conserve that, preserve that?
To maintain the ecosystem and function. The ecosystem is the system, because the species has papel, a role. The species has a role in the productivity and so on. And also the variability, genetic variability is important to the future, to evolution. So you need to preserve this part. When you consider only the species, the biodiversity in compare is also include genetic variability and molecular variability and so on, and the role of the species in the ecosystem. So it's important to maintain. But maybe genetic variability, I think it's important to evolution, because evolution is important to preserve the ecosystem also. They change, climate change, many things change, so you need some adaptive scenarios, maybe.
Although it takes many partners and people to manage the park, it is officially administered by the Chico Mendes Institute for Biodiversity Conservation, also known as ICM Bio. The park is open, free to the public for tours every day of the week, and at various locations it has little beaches and places of leisure, and you can swim in the Rio Paraná. Another option is a boat ride on the Paraná River, passing through various localities of the Big Island.
So I found the support here in the Grande program with all the colleagues here, and that was amazing for me, because all the challenges become, how can I say, easier to pass due to the support. So the challenge could be exciting sometimes, because we need challenge to go on. But we can survive if the group is unified to the same objective. That's cool.
All right, and what is the overall impact and theme of your research?
The team. I think is. I always say to my students that we can't do nothing alone. So the teamwork is the most important thing we can have in science. Where you can thought alone in your room, in your office, learning something from the books, but scientific discussion in a team is the most productive scenario we can have. So it's really important. So the team has an impact, amazing impact.
What's your perspective for floodplain?
For floodplain? Our floodplain here, there, yeah. Not so good, I think, because although we have many efforts to conservation and parks and conservation areas were created, we have impacts all the time there. The dam constructions, I think the hydropower is a commerce, so it's difficult to involve science with business, and maybe it's the how can I say, the worst thing can have there. If we don't have the dams there, maybe things could be better, but as it is, it's difficult to say, because we are always fighting against the hydropowers. that are constructed there. Not in the floodplain, but this part of the floodplain that is there could be better if we don't have the hydropower there. So the other thing is that it's difficult to reach population there, to translate the knowledge, scientific knowledge to population. So people, most of people there, doesn't matter, don't care with the conservation. So that's the problem, I think. So it's important to start with programs that we reach the youngs, because the new generation depends on them. So if scientific knowledge reach them, we can have some perspective, good perspective to the future. Otherwise, I can't believe that.